The 1985 flooding in Puerto Rico was caused by floods from a westward moving tropical wave that emerged off the coast of Africa. This wave caused massive rain and Tropical Storm Isabel. The combination of these two resulted in a massive landslide that caused even more damage. The storm peaked at 31.67 inches, or 804 millimeters, in Toro Negro State Forest. This storm was not an irregularity, but was in accordance with the Atlantic hurricane season, which stretches from the beginning of June till the end of November and brings seasonal destruction to various areas.
During the flooding, all 3,515 square miles of Puerto Rico was impacted. However, the severe flooding only occurred in the southern half of Puerto Rico. The rains most significantly affected the municipalities of Ponce, Juana Diaz, Santa Isabel, and Coamo. This is not the first time Puerto Rico has experienced flooding. Puerto Rico experiences hurricanes and tropical storms frequently, usually every 3 years. Unfortunately, their usual hurricane preparations were not enough because nothing this severe has happened since the 1899 San Circo hurricane. This tropical storm also hit the U.S. Virgin Islands and parts of Florida.
The storm caused over $459 million in damage and at least 180 deaths. 3,000 homes were damaged, with 4,400 persons temporarily displaced into 44 shelters. The flooding isolated towns, washed out roads, and caused rivers to exceed their banks. Worst of all, a landslide caused the most damage, which occurred from saturated soils from the intense rainfall and pre-existing conditions such as a leaking water main and poor sewage flow. The landslide destroyed about 90 houses, killing at least 130 people, but could be up to 300 with the amount of people who went missing. It was ultimately labeled the single most deadly landslide in North America. Many of the homes which were destroyed were poorly built with tin and wooden materials, and some were built on stilts. The floods shut down 11 water filtration plants and 13 sewage treatment plants, which left 16 municipalities temporarily without water.
In response to the disaster, the Puerto Rico government created a rainfall runoff alert network, which is designed to predict flash flooding in advance. This network works with the National Weather Service, the United States Geological Survey, and the territory's Department of Natural Resources. The United States President, Ronald Reagan, declared 33 municipalities across Puerto Rico as disaster area and provided $63 million toward the aid of the flooding. Governor Colon considered turning the Mameyes neighborhood into a common grave to prevent the spread of a disease outbreak. As a result, the National Guard evacuated the town. However, the governor changed his mind after the public outcry against it. Overall, this disaster was so devastating in Puerto Rico because not only was the magnitude of the flooding great, the nation as a whole was unable to effectively evacuate and prepare for the storm due to it being on an island and being a poor nation.